Uh-huh. There we go. Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the Ted Show. I'm with one of my favorite human beings, the one and only Anthony DiNova is here, and we're here to talk about next month's event. It's Winter Park Wine and Dine on October 18th. You all know how much I love this event. It is truly one of my favorites of the whole season. I look forward to it, and I look forward to spending time with Anthony. So you're going to be seeing us a lot because we're going to be talking more about the event leading up to it. But welcome, Anthony. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on the show. I think we need to start the show off the right way.
We need to. Cheers, my friend. Cheers. I mean, it is the wine and dine.
To feeling young as we grow.
Yeah, I'm feeling young. All right. So let me see. It's giving me a little bit of a message here, but that's okay. We're still live. Da-da-da-da-da. So talk. Let's talk about wine. Tell them a little bit about you, though, first, and then let's talk about Wine and Dine. This is amazing.
You know what's crazy is there's 2 million people in Orlando, and right, give or take. I mean, Orlando's such a big, broken up metropolis. I would say. And even though we have a fantastic event, a lot of people still don't know what it is, and it's one of the main reasons I advertise for our restaurants for the event is because you always have to keep your brand out there and keep things fresh. It's a pleasure to have, the event kind of like, promoted and in partnership with the TED Show. I'm so thankful for that. So the Wine and Dine is an event that's been going on for its 11th year.
I can't believe it's 11 years, honestly. It's amazing.
It's a lot of work. And as you look back, you see your own longevity in the shadows, and you're in the mirror, and you're like, wow, I can't believe it's 11 years. So it's gotten a lot better over the years, and it's just continuing to grow. And the Wine and Dine this year, we have an amazing, we're talking about 35, 40 vendors that have already confirmed. And I got to be honest with you, this is going to be the best medley of high-end restaurants that we've had so far since I've created this new marketing and branding package that I have for our restaurants, which seems to be working out really well.
You do an amazing job. Honestly, I love the post. It keeps me up to date. It also notifies me, and I get to see some restaurants who are participating and past restaurants and new ones.
So should we talk about it?
Yeah, let's talk. I want to.
Do I just list some of the greatest ones out there in Winter Park first? Because this is a Winter Park Wine and Dine. So I'm going to do the right thing and talk about the events in retrospect to the actual restaurants coming. We have Bar Louie, okay? The Winter Park Fish Company, by the way, hasn't come in a couple of years because they changed ownership. So that's a brand new one, I would say, in my estimate. The Hangry Bison, Park Ave Tavern, Bar Italia, Uno's Pizzeria. Let's talk about the ones that have already been continuing to come. Firebirds in Winter Park, Hamilton's Kitchen. Awesome. I go to Hamilton's Kitchen.
Good. Yeah, you're there a lot.
Like once a month. Like I
love them there. They're awesome.
And Bula Gastro Bar is another great one. And then we have Seasons 52, which is an Altamont. It's just the offshoot. It's just pretty damn close.
Yeah.
And they're amazing, by the way.
They're so good. I love to go there.
Always comes out with something amazing.
Yeah, their food's great.
Food, wine. They even asked me, can we come out with some wine? I'm like, whatever you want to do. Same thing with Bar Italia. You'd be surprised at the level of involvement and engagement you get when you really treat people like partners.
Yes, I agree.
So I want to round it up with some of the other amazing vendors that come. Rock and Brews Oviedo, Outback Steakhouse in Winter Park. We have an indie, I call it indies,
independents. Oh,
like
good.
Entrepreneurs. Something place called the Parlor Kitchen.
The Parlor Kitchen.
It comes out with like these chicken waffles, different types of waffles,
Yum.
Different flavor of waffles. It's insane how good it is. I won't try it because I'll gain like 5 pounds at the event. Joel Dawson from Brothers in Arm Barbecue. He comes out. He's got these collard greens that are like world renowned. I guess he's got all these awards for collard greens. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
In there.
I love collard greens.
A lot of garlic, but they're good.
That's good.
Mohawk Smokehouse. This guy, he used to work for Four Rivers, and Tyler is his name. He's a young entrepreneur that just crushes it, and he's like, when do I start my actual place? Because right now he just does a lot of catering, but he really needs a brick and mortar, because that guy, as soon as he opens up a brick and mortar, in my estimate, probably do 500 to 750
Wow.
profit in his first year.
Listen, I love an entrepreneur.
The wherewithal
like
to get to that point is
Right.
hard, right?
Plus the gift, the talent. Of
like John Rivers, he was in what, like the health space?
the health space,
Like,
right?
he had a ton of cash. Like it's not something that everybody can get into right away. And so good for John. There's no takeaway in a negative way from John. He crushes it and his food's amazing. But there's some people that can't afford the opportunity to open up from scratch.
It's true.
Bull in Winter Park is another great one.
Oh yeah, Bole's great.
Tibby's New Orleans Kitchen,
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Tibby's.
They have this shrimp and grits thing. It's just like you're actually in Louisiana. To round it off and finish it off with food, we have a independent his and hers Jamaican chicken.
Yum.
She's a hit or miss. Sometimes she can make it, sometimes she can't. Probably is going to make it for this event. She has amazing chicken. This Jamaican chicken.
Think about if somebody hasn't been there before, kind of give them this setup, because I think it's important. You get your tickets, which that link is in the body of this post. You'll see it. There's a whole link just to go and get your tickets. But what's it like? You show up and then what happens?
The first thing that you walk in, you have this wine walk experience, and Winter Park Wine is our main wine sponsor. So we have this woman, her name is Julia. She's very educated on wines, and she'll pick out wines that you maybe never tried. So a lot of times when I sell the event, somebody asks me on Instagram, what do I get for what I pay for? I'm like, that's really not the kind of customer we want. We actually don't want the kind of customers like, let me get all this food for 50, 75. That is the exact opposite of customers we want. We actually don't want that person to come. We want the people to come that are like, hey, I want an experience that I can remember. So clearly food is important, but going back to the wine, Julia will pick out wines that are unique that you might not have never heard of.
She's amazing.
And there is I've told Julia, I was like, just pick out the wines you think are great. I was like, there's no limit. Like, there's really no limit to my budget to make these customers happy. I was like, just put a number of $10,000 on my wine list, and you could spend whatever you want to make whatever you want. So we're not picking wines that maybe aren't expensive just to save money for the event. We'll pick out wines that you've never had that are really good.
Yes.
And the money's there. Like, we have plenty of money, and I want to shower my guests with quality. So I told Julia, I said, let's pick out whatever you want. Pick out like 50 varieties. Let's give them 50 samplings. So that's the first thing you walk into.
She does an amazing job, y'all. Every time I go in there, I try a new wine. And she does other events in town, but I'll try a new wine of hers like I would have never known. And that's the great thing, is that it exposes you to wine that you may not know that is delicious out there.
And as you get, you can order these wines at some of them are 25% off.
Yeah, that's awesome.
She's getting them at wholesale costs. You can pre-order them at the event. So not only do you come to the event, but let's say you bought a case of Camus. Well, just paid for your ticket to the event. You're not going to get the case of Camus at that price anywhere but the event.
That's right.
And that's the truth. And so if you buy a case of it, which oftentimes people do, then you can just pay for your own ticket.
So speaking of Camus, tell me about VIP.
Oh, well, that's the thing. You see a lot of VIP experiences out there in Orlando, and you're not really getting the VIP treatment. So
one extra drink ticket doesn't do it for me, just for the record.
And it's I could probably find wines that aren't as expensive as Camus that are just as good. So we'll have Prisoner there, and there's much less expensive wines in Prisoner that are just as good. But you actually have to have the Camus and the Prisoner, the Brumbauer, the Veuve Clicquot, and we're actually going to talk to you ever heard of the Modest Wine House and the company actually in Winter Park?
Yes, because of you.
Yeah, so we're probably going to have them involved in some way in the VIP doing champagne tastings. We're meeting with them Friday to kind of go over and gloss it over and see what we can do together. Because again, it's all about branding. It's all about adding value. It's not about how much you can get for the event. It's about creating the experience and the memory. So if you could have maybe Kyle, who is one of the owners of the Modest Wine, if we could have him orate or curate the experience in terms of wine, maybe some charcuterie boards that would pair with it in the VIP, that would create a better experience.
Yes.
So for us, it's more about how do we enhance the experience through music, through dance, and through food as well and drink. That way the experience creates the memory. That's what creates the future sale. that's what creates the desire to come to the next event. Not so much how much food can we get per like our attendance.
Right.
Like, that's like the last customer we want.
Why do you keep coming back after 11 years? I've never asked you this question. What's your why here? And I think it's because I know it is a lot of work.
Oh my God, it's so much.
I only see it through you, but I know I've helped put on events, and I know you're the ultimate buck stops here kind of person.
Yeah.
So what's your why?
This is the truth. We probably financially do better at the title company per month than, so if I take time away from the title company, I lose money at the title company to do the event. And that's the truth. And we'll do more profit at the title company than we would do for the wine and dine if we just focused on the title company, which is Park Ave Title. But I love food, wine. I love creating memories. I love creating the experience for people. I really do.
I know you do.
And so I love doing that. There's a passion I have to serve someone up an experience that's like world renowned.
Yeah.
So the idea is to make it better and better. That's the challenge too. I like the challenge, right? Like, how can we make this better? So like, for example, this event, we added on all these like balloon lights, the big
I
lights.
love those. Yeah.
So like, how can we make this like wine walk experience of Julia more effective, but create the ambiance that creates, just a better feel. Like, I want to really taste some wine right now. When you get the lighting, the perfect lighting, the perfect ambiance, it's the perfect setting for a good experience. So it's little things like that. You kind of figure out ways to make it better. Sometimes it's a jazz player outside. So that's my why. I really do like it. I love it.
You do it and you execute it so well. And I know you have a team. And I know you have people that help you. And
well, speaking of that, I'd probably talk about my wife.
You should absolutely talk about your wife.
My wife, Diana, is amazing. She'll share the event for me. She'll be my co-marketer. She brings in sometimes sponsors for the event. Oh, speaking of sponsors, Mercedes-Benz of Orlando is our main sponsor.
You have multiple ones. You can say them all.
Along with Lux Mortgage.
Yeah.
And Lux Mortgage is fantastic. We have a great relationship with Tom and Brett. And then under the main sponsors, which will continue to come again, what we do for branding for them is, I promise you when I say this, we have Disney executives who are on their board and chairmen. They actually come to the events. I could prove it to you if I pulled up a ticket sale. I would be actually violating privacy rights.
You would be.
But I promise you that there are people from the Epcot Food and Wine Festival that just come to this event just to figure out what we're doing right so they can create an experience that can mirror it, so they can figure out ways to create value for them. And vice versa. That goes both ways. Like, I'm always looking to them and other, because what Tom Brady said something like, hey, what you don't know is limitless, but what you do know is limited. So like, you should always be searching for new ways to increase your education and make a better experience. But let's get back to the sponsors. If I wasn't married to Diana, I probably wouldn't have O'Mara Law Group, who is our platinum sponsor.
I love that.
Right? They came out and said, hey, we'd love to be a part of your event. And Diana has a relationship with Mark O'Mara. So O'Mara Law Group is one of our new law firms that became a platinum sponsor. They're going to do several events with us, most likely. We have Olo Builders, my buddy Mike and his wife. He created a business called Olo Builders, and he's already started to build some homes. Actually, not just breaking ground, but finishing up this month and next on a couple projects. And he's awesome. That kid is going to expand. Like, if there's one person I believe in, he's going to crush it. And then we have our other platinum sponsor that I have to talk about is Chad. Chad owns Simply Pay Merchant Processing, and he's one of those guys. He looks like this guy from Vampire Diaries. Super handsome. His wife is beautiful.
Pop culture.
And he's crushes it. He meets with a lot of independent merchants and sets up their merchant processing, and he's doing a really good job. I think that sums up the sponsors.
Awesome.
They're awesome. If we didn't have them involved, this event probably wouldn't be as good as it was in the past as well.
So what are ticket prices? Tell them about tickets now.
They pale in comparison to some of these major corporate events. But
I agree.
I think it's a good price. $75 is our general admission price right now. And this is because you didn't buy it for $55 a month and a half, 2 months ago. But $75 in my estimate is a steal.
Agreed.
It's an amazing price. It'll continue to be that price until October 1st. VIP is $150. We kind of pitch our VIP tickets at $125, $135 at first. And then once we sell a couple hundred, which is obviously what we already sold,
right,
we have to just raise it. So there's not a specific timeline for me on raising VIP prices. There's more so if we hit 200 tickets sold at automatically goes up to 150 because the experience, again, is so expensive. Like you're not going to be able to find another event in town for that price that offers Camus, Vav, Prisoner. They're going to jack up their prices to $300, $350, which is what I'm seeing on some other competitor events. I won't mention names, but to have a good wine experience, you have to find a good balance between price and value.
You do.
And so, the only way you increase your prices is really to create better and better experiences. But better and better experiences doesn't mean more profit. It just means that you spend more to make a better experience.
It's just an amazing experience every time. It's October 18th.
I know, we got to wrap it up, right?
We do. WinterParkWineAndDine.com is your website, I believe.
It's actually
Park events.
You go on Eventbrite.
Yes.
And you just look up Winter Park events.
Perfect.
And let's talk about the branding package real quick.
Oh yes, please do. Absolutely.
So, or should I even share that with my competitors?
Well, you can't really copy what you do. It's up to you.
We're going to leave that out, and I'm not going to share it. It's the reason why all these really good Winter Park restaurants came on board.
I love it.
So I'm going to keep it off the market.
Well, I think it's good that you have a package like that, and because that's really what people are looking for: added value and actual value for a sponsorship or being involved, which is really important in this day and age.
Sometimes we'll throw, in a nutshell, we'll throw ads out there and actually put money behind them, because it's not about how much money I make; it's about how much I can invest in the community, especially with the Winter Park restaurants involved. So we make a huge investment, and we want to see them successful just as much as our company.
I know you do. All right, Anthony DiNova,
cool.
Winter Park Wine and Dine, October 18th.
Come on,
you can go to Eventbrite and search Winter Park events, and then you can also go to the link, the ticket link, which is in the body of this post down below, and click there, and you can buy your ticket. I encourage you to do it because it is an amazing event, truly one of my favorites, along with one of my
Can't wait to have you guys. Thank you for having us on the show.
Thank you. And we'll be back. We'll be doing more of these between.
Yeah, stay tuned on the TED Show. This is the best show in Orlando.
I did pay him to say that. You know that. All right, guys. We'll see you soon.